Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for giving me last week off to rest and recuperate. I picked up a random bug, which I don't know where it came from, but it's definitely not camera ready. I'm returning with my Let's Build British series, which if you remember from quite a few weeks ago now, we built a London-inspired brick townhouse. And today we are featuring the world of Brindleton, to create a British inspired Chippy, which is a fish and chip shop for those not in the know. I'm going to bring up a reference image to my right. It's based on Wheeler's Oyster Bar in Whitstable, Kent, which is actually a very famous establishment. And I really love the use of pastel shades that contrast with the environment, and it's something I definitely want to mirror for this build. So without further ado, let's get into build mode and create a British inspired Chippy. So I started things off with a stilted foundation, just to make use of the beautiful panoramic views of Brindleton Bay. And I'd quite like to mirror the Wheeler's Oyster Bar's quite slim profile. So I think I'm just going to shift the build to the left side and have the kind of entertaining outdoor eating space to the right. And also it's quite nice with the walkway, you can fully see the entrance. Now, I think I'd quite like to make this double story and have a flat above. I'm going to introduce a sim who lives in this abode and runs the Chippy, probably in the part where we get to furnishing, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And I've just done a little jet out here so we can have some customer toilets, which in turn would be quite a nice spot for an upstairs bathroom, a private bathroom. Now, in terms of roof line, I'd quite like to create a window box moment. Now, unfortunately, the ones that we currently have in The Sims don't really work, and I didn't actually do any research for some CC window boxes, which is unfortunate. But I think I might try and create a half wall moment here and add in my own window box. So I'm just going to add a roof line, and then we continue on adding more detail to this build. So I've added a gabled roof and just manipulated it slightly so it has a bit of a jaunty point, and created my own window box. And I've also added a half gabled piece here that I'm going to mirror on this extension of the build. And I think I might just play around with the flaps. Wrong word, Chris. Play around with the eaves. Is that the correct word? On these parts, just so it looks a bit, charming and higgledy-piggledy. I love saying that word. I think here I might even create a larger half wall moment because I'm looking at the reference image and there's a lot of signage going on with this part of the build, so I think I'd quite like to mirror that. Yeah, maybe even go just one higher. Be sufficient. And in turn, I might just lift you up a touch. Yeah, that's looking good. Don't want it to be too big of a build. I really want it to feel quite cozy and very in keeping with the seaside town. Now, in terms of colors, wallpapers, really would love to mirror the pastel shades that we got going on, but I don't think I'm going to do an entirely pink build. Now I think it is actually not CC, it's from the Life and Death pack. We've got this really cute pink shade in the concrete. It's the one that felt the most like pastel-y. So I was wondering whether to use that on this part of the build. And then we also have a plain version as well to avoid that repeated texture. So I quite like to use that here at the very least. Are you all painted in those corners? Thank you very much. And then contrast it with a different wallpaper. I'm thinking maybe kind of a siding. Let's try and pick one together actually. I always take forever, but I might just use my good judgment here. I wonder if we can go for a kind of worn looking siding. This is from the Horse Ranch pack. Quite like that actually. It's giving marine vibes. And I kind of had in mind that we would add some trim here anyway, so there won't be that awkward break. Are you painted? Oh, you are. Yeah, let's go for that. Roof patterns. This is a cool one actually from the latest pack. Could use my CC. I know you guys very much enjoyed that I used CC in the London Brick Townhouse, so it's something I'm definitely going to continue on in this Let's Build British series, since I don't really get a chance to use it on other videos, and I love restricting myself to get certain packs and items in the game, but yeah, it'd be quite nice to have a bit more creative freedom with this. I've gone for this rustic roof swatch from the Horse Ranch pack, and I think I'd quite like to use my favourite step roof trim, maybe in a grey. That could be subject to change, but let's keep that there for now. And in terms of half wall trim, I actually might go for a snazzy blue one if we have one. Let's go for stone, or maybe a wood actually. Yeah, we do have blue. Just to play off those pastel-y vibes. Lightly coming together. Trust the vision. I'm going to pull out a bevy of windows and doors. I'm thinking of actually using Harry's coastal pack for this, since, you know, we are by the coast and it's in keeping. So let me just pull some and we can place them all together. So as predicted, I'm going to use Harry's coastal kit with these gorgeous windows, and I've chosen a front door in this blue and white swatch. I think is a nice contrast to the pale blue wood siding that we've got going on. Now, I also noticed in this pack there is a fence post. I think it'd be quite a nice opportunity to create some kind of like built-in moment here and make it look like everything is integrated. It's a shame that the tool mod is currently down at the moment, because I would have liked to have a play around with some of the sizing of these objects. So once it does come back, I will definitely tweak this away from camera. Just have to not get lost too much into the details. Now, also Harry's spoons kit really comes in use for any kind of commercial build. I'm thinking of using some of the signage from this pack because I know it also comes in a blue as well. So it looks relatively in keeping with the doors that we've got going on. I'm just wondering what the best size would be. Again, wish we had the tool mod so I could manipulate this. But I'll look past it for now. Anyway, how are you guys? Hope you've been better than I have. I've just finished the And Just Like That premiere, season finale, and it was a bit of a train wreck, I won't lie, but I think, you know, you just have to look past TV shows like that and don't take them for too serious. Just did not need to see a certain toilet scene in the last ever episode, which was very unfortunate. But other than that, I've not really been watching TV. I've been rewatching a lot of Real Housewives, which is, you know, my guilty pleasure. Also, there's a new London part of the franchise coming out, or it's already out, which I need to catch up on. I've heard some very good things, some love drama. Ben always laughs at me that I watch shows like that because I'm actually a relatively calm person, but I just love the white noise of wealthy women screaming at each other. So I think that's quite nice. I'd quite like to add a awning to this area though, just to make it feel a little bit more like a commercial shop. There was no awning on the Wheeler's Oyster Bar. I think they had some bunting, which was quite sweet actually. But I think for here it'd be quite nice to add maybe a striped awning. Let's see what we've got. I think this comes in two, doesn't it? Yeah, from memory there's a scalloped edge swatch. This one. It's quite nice with the cream and or white and blue stripes. Looks very seasidey. I think I might go for that. And then I also downloaded the Coasty Bistro pack came with some nice signage, and I downloaded like an extension to that pack where we had some horizontal signs that were based off the vertical one that came with the official kit. If I can find it. I don't think it's going to come up with. I'm just going to search for that and then we can place it together. This is what I was referring to. So we've got this one that came with the actual game, but also I downloaded some extras. That was quite nice to add a bit of signage here. Again, would have liked to have the tool mod, but I will survive. Yeah. It's quite a nice frontage to the build. Also, with the coastal kit came some exterior trims, which I'd quite like to make apparent, just to conceal this very harsh line that we've got going on. So I think, yeah, this is an exterior trim. This was really great about CC creators. They think of things like this, and everything looks a lot very seamless. Is this the same blue, actually, that we've got going on below? Yes, it is. Yeah, I think it would be nice to carry this through around the perimeter of the build. So I'm just going to place that all now, and then we continue on adding detailing. Trims have been added for a nice finishing touch. Everything looks very seamless and built in, which I quite like. Something I was kind of wanting to achieve. And let's continue adding some windows. Now, in the original reference image, there actually is a window slightly off kilter, so I'm probably going to mirror the same. And I think I'd quite like a little coastal portal window here, which is quite sweet. Let's do it in the matching swatches so I can get a vision. Are you in the correct swatch? Yes, you are. You are. Be nice to have some window shutters actually, and I think they came with this pack. Yes, they did. Let's add them in the matching blue. It's very much coming together. I think this would be quite a nice spot to add a mini window. There's also an open version of this. Sorry, I'm 1,000 miles away. There's an open version of this which is quite sweet. Where are you? This one here. Look how nice that is. I don't even think we have... Oh no, we do have some variations of those in the game, but not as customizable as CC, unfortunately. I think that's really sweet. I actually also might add a portal window to the bathroom for the customers to use. Maybe to around there. Keep this one free though, because nobody really wants to be peeping in while you're taking a tinkle, do you? So... Now, when I was pulling out the bistro signage, I noticed that there was a pink version, and I'd quite like to include that here, just to jazz up this this area. Oh, my camera's going to be bopping around a lot, so I apologize for that. Trying to keep the branding as minimal as possible. And let's add a sign for the side of the wall. Thinking something even from the game itself rather than using CC, but something that's definitely on the wall. Does this come in a blue or a pink? That'd be nice. Oh, it comes in both. Yeah, let's go for that, you know. Lovely. And let's get some, you know, coastal insignia stuff going on. Do we have a life, what are they called? Those dingy things. Oh, we do. Oh, it's behind a locked wall. I'm just gonna put in the relevant cheat and then we can pull out all the extra detail. I initially wasn't going to use this item from Cats and Dogs, but I thought, you know, it's quite comical and in keeping with a fish and chip shop. I might just size you down a touch though, because you are gigantic. And it also plays into the surrounding area as well, because I'm pretty sure this is used somewhere across this lot. Let's include this, oh god, sorry about the camera guys. This lifeguard preserver. And I also found these nets as well, which are quite nice, with some buoys attached to it. Not actual buoys. Let's copy this over and do another moment here. Maybe switch up the color swatch there. Yeah, based on the original image, there's a lot more kind of typography on the frontage, which we can't really achieve with the game, even with CC. So I'm quite happy with how that looks. Just cluttered enough. And then I think let's move to the side and make a start on the kind of outdoor seating area. And we got some billboards with the cats and dogs pack, so I'd quite like to add them to the side of the build. So as Sims walk down the little alleyway, got some advertising going on. Might even add one to the second floor as well, since it's a blank wall. And in terms of what to put on there, I think we got some kind of torn maritime looking decals. Try and find them. Oh yeah, here. Yeah, something to do with like fish and shrimps and things. Yeah, let's do them. They're funny. Look kind of vintagey as well, as if they've been there for a long time. Wondering whether to add one of these little portal windows up in the roof line. Yeah, it's quite sweet. And I'm thinking maybe of using some picnic tables, which thank God we have many of them in the game. But something that looks relatively rustic. These ones from Jungle Adventure are quite nice. Also pulled out the condiment objects, which I think is kind of appropriate for a fish and chip shop. But I think I'm going to size it down quite a lot because it's such a big object. Now, if I get some spacing going on and get down to the level, I think here is just going to be decorative space, maybe with a few boxes and things, and a little seating area. So I think that's probably in the perfect position, to be honest with you. And I've also added a lantern to these tables as well, which I'll add to some other outdoor seating at the front. Yeah, let's grab a lantern here as well. And then this parasol is from Perry Sim's lunch pack, which I'm obsessed with. It's such a pretty pack. And I think it came with a picture, yeah, this fish picture, which I think is really funny. Very camp. Does it come in a blue and a pink? Oh, it does. See, sometimes when you speak it out into existence, it appears in your game. I think that's so funny, like such a funny object to have for a fish and chip shop. Yeah, let's put you on a different angle though. Yeah, I love the little umbrella moment here. Feels very coastal. And I was also thinking as well, I was drawing inspiration from the string lights that we've got going on to wrap them around this outdoor area. But before we get to that, I'd quite like to add some plantage to fill up the space and also bring a bit of life to the build. Wonder if we have any tall planters going on. We could use Felix and Harry's Jardine planters in maybe even a white. Let's take the grid off. No, I don't need you for now. Let's go for that. And if I type in barrel, will it come up with barrel paraphernalia? Oh, it does. Ooh, even it comes with plants as well. Oh, this is cool. Might keep you for over there. Yeah, I'd quite like to add some oldie time barrels. Or maybe not that one actually with the signage, because I know this comes with a plain swatch. Yeah, this one. From memory. And then equally, if I search for crate, will it come up with the crates that came with the pack? Yes, it does. Perfect. Oh gosh, these are big. Yeah, just fill up the space, really. And make it feel a lot more kind of nestled within the environment. Might just add a skinny boy. Oh, you're on the decent size, actually. So I need to size you down. And then Yeah, let's go for this one. I quite like that little detail there with the let's size you up one more with the little dolphin situation going on. Lovely. I wonder if we can fit a lantern on there actually with the 9 key, and hopefully I won't need to use the tool mod. Not that I can actually. My Shayla. Yeah, I think that's nice. I know as well, I was looking around the world, we've got these kind of little fish. Where are you? I spotted you earlier, but I don't know where you are. That little fishing things. Oh, here. These. So I might go into the debug catalog and see what I can find. And we can start adding even more detail to this area. I found tons of stuff in the debug catalog. I was very chuffed. I mean, please have the vision that I'm going to size this down multiple times because it's gigantic. Also found this cute fisherman, which actually I think is like nestled over here. So I thought it was quite nice to continue in this area. Some more buoys. And also this as well, which I thought would be quite sweet to place around the build every so often. Maybe around here as well. Works with the colours. Thinking as well, a lot of establishments, well, I guess across the world anyway, but in the UK, they have little dog bowls, so, or water bowls, I guess. So I'd quite like to add one there for the pets, given that it's from the Cats and Dogs pack, you know. Felt appropriate. So let me just add this in. I wonder if I could size you down a bit. Touch big. Yeah, and nestle you in. And I quite like to keep this guy here as like a mascot, so it's kind of representing the fish and chip shop. Now this I would like to use, but as I mentioned, it's gigantic, so I'm going to have to size it down multiple times. And maybe that just place you on the wall without it cutting in. Nice. Thinking of saving this for some situation around there, so let's put it there for now. So string lights, I found these from the debug catalog and they work in the light when it goes to dark. Sorry, I was trying to look for the ones that were actually in the world, but I couldn't find ones that were small enough. They were all gigantic, so I thought best not. Let's get our bearings, shall we? So maybe let's put one here, because I'd like a staircase moment here, so it looks somewhat central. And put one here. So now I'm going to have to use a lot of logistical maneuvering to figure this out. Connect, yes you will. Are you going to connect? Oh, just off slightly. Pull you in. It's all about the details with my builds. Hopefully. Oh, you're just out. Let me just swift you around again. Oh. Perfect. And there's no clipping in or anything? No, there's not. I'm so talented. I'm joking, I'm not. It takes me forever to pick a paint swatch, for God's sake. Let's add some stairs. I quite like to add something that feels a bit more industrial. But perhaps not those. Didn't we get some with the businesses and hobbies pack that were kind of metally like? Was it these? Well, these could work actually. Oh, it comes in a... Oh, sorry. Ignore me. See, I'm definitely not a pro. Let's move these around. Oh, why are you glitching? How could you? Yeah, I'm thinking maybe about 2 this way. Yeah, add some seatage there as well. Wondering if I need to add some stairs over here as well. Oh, I can't because it's so close. That's fine. Just do the access point around here. Fab. So thinking of adding a bin to this area. Do we have one that's looking nautical? What are the bins in the world? Oh, we don't really have any, which is just great, isn't it? Oh, there's one there. What are you? What are you? Oh, sorry, I'm giving myself motion sickness. I don't know if I want to use that one. I think it's this vibe, but I'm wondering if I can go for something that's a bit more like beachy looking. I don't know. I'm in a black. Oh, it's not working for this build. You know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to use this get together bin. Nicely plays off the little worn texture as well going on. Yeah. Let's continue with the front part of the build. Now, I'd quite like to add a two-seater kind of seating, so let's make that apparent. Do we have any better light? Yes, we do. Although, I think I might manipulate the color of it. Let's go to the dining section. Now, I really love this table, and I think it works with the tones that we've got going on, so I think I'm going to use this number. I always had that in mind for when I was doing a fish and chip shop. Can we squeeze in another table here? Maybe do it this way. I also found this little fish object, so I've added that to the wall, just for a bit of decoration. Now, in terms of seating, where am I going? Let's opt for something that looks like it can be folded up and packed away. Don't we have the other version of this seat that's a little bit more decorative? This one, from Lovestruck. Ooh, not with the writing on the back. Oh, I like the worn swatch. I didn't realise this came with a worn swatch. Let's go for this one. It's a bit like shabby chic, you know? Yeah, let's do that. And then let's add the lanterns here. And maybe let's just add the picture rather than the condiments, since this is a fairly small table to work with. Put you in here. From this angle, and size you down. Are you not sized down? How could you? Perfect. See, all the personalities coming together, I think it's quite sweet. Add this into this area as well. Got the barrel situation going on. Wonder if we can make use of a drain pipe to this section. And from memory, we have one that came with the game that had like a burnish kind of swatch to it that felt very, yes, from the business and hobby pack. Ooh, do I use a medium height one? Yeah, it's like a worn away, rusted iron kind of swatch, which I think is quite in keeping with this style of build. Pull you down a touch. I really get to use that swatch as well, so it's always nice to do some different things. Just gonna paint the inside of here. Oh, it's cute, it's coming together. Now, I think I'm going to add some outdoor seating, so I'm just gonna look for some benches, and then we can continue on into this section. I need to add a staircase to the flat as well, so give me 3 seconds. So I've opted for the Jardine planter benches. There's a nice mix of wood and concrete here, and a bit more greenery as well, you know. And I've just left enough space. I think the sim should be okay to get around this area, but I will play a test. But just had to shuffle some things around to get to the side access. And while I was searching for a bench, I came across this object from Max 20, and I thought it'd be a really nice idea to have a tree on this lot. So I found this boy that actually fits relatively nicely in this area. Not too much glitching. And just trims past the lights. And I've also pulled out this tree guard as well, which is very necessary, so it's not just growing out of nowhere. See, normally I would have just slightly increased the size with the tool mod, but we don't have that option just at the moment, so is what it is. I think that adds just a nice amount of green to the lot, so it doesn't look completely bare. And let's move around to this corner, shall we? Now, I think I'm going to use the same stairs that we've got leading up to the build itself. I might just make a corner moment. I wonder if I add a little bit of a landing here. Let's go to the grid. Little L-shaped landing. Shift it in here. And then let's add a trim. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find like a decent trim, but we do have blue trims, which is useful. That's a bit too chunky actually. What about the stepped one? Do you come in a blue? You do, it's slightly different though. Don't know which one I prefer. Me debating over trims. Welcome to my life. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'll go for this one. And then for now, I'm just going to add this wood. I'll probably change that once we get to this area. Let's add a front door. I wonder if we've got a different variation of the coastal. Let me search for that. The coastal kit. The great thing about CC as well, you get so many variations of the same style and aesthetic, which is something I always feel like I miss out on in the game itself. Always wanting extra additional windows and doors and swatches and everything. So we'd used this one downstairs, so perhaps we could use this one. So it's not too pasted the same. I think that's nice. And then in terms of a window, I'm thinking of having a cute little open window as well that we've got going on there to mirror this, the same vibe. See, I don't really want to get too far ahead of myself, but I'd quite like to see if this would accommodate a counter. Why am I flopping around the shop? It does. I might just lift you up a touch. There we go. And let's put you into the same swatch. That's very cute. Might grab some more of those boys and put it in that other swatch that we've got. This one here. Yeah, very nice. And oh yes, so these I found from the debug catalog, these boys. I'm saying the word boys a lot today. I'm in my marine era. Push this in. The most recent time I've actually been on the water is when me and Vin went to Croatia, and we rented a kayak to sail around a few different islands, one being a nudist beach. We ended up arguing in the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean, mainly because we were very close to some jagged rocks and I was panicking slightly. So, you know, when you're in moments of distress and you can make it through a very tricky trip, you know, I think it strengthened our relationship, let's just put it that way. Just added a little dumpster, you know, makes sense. Also with a bit of graffiti as well. I feel like this is kind of the world that would have some graffiti, you know. And let's bring in some more barrels. And then perhaps maybe another crate if I can squeeze one in. Yeah, this one here is kind of perfect. Just shift some stuff around. Nice. I think I'd quite like to add a fence, but before we get to that, I'm going to add some lighting to this area. And from memory, we had that really cool saucer looking wall lamp that kind of looks like a porthole from Businesses and Hobbies. And it comes in a nice matching, pretty much matching blue swatch as well. So I'm going to add that, I think, to that wall and to this wall. You're not the right height. And where else can I put it? Maybe in the middle here. Or maybe just off center for the person going up the stairs. Oh, it looks really pretty in the evening. Also helped by my sunblind mod. Lovely. Now, I think to finish off this part, I'm going to pull out some fencing. Now, I'm not going to do traditional fencing because it's going to need to be right on the edge. So I wonder if we can pull something from the cats and dogs pack, so at least it's in keeping with the world. So I'm going to pick that out now, can place it together, and then I can tell you my plans for the next part. So I've ended up choosing this fence from Cats and Dogs Debug. I was initially playing around with the matching one on the lot itself, but again, looked a little bit too matchy. So I've gone for this one with the bollards and the metal accents. The only problem is it only comes in a 2, which is a bit unfortunate. So I'm going to have to manually add these as I go. Let me just get the right spacing. I think it just adds a nice last finishing touch to this area. And oh, that worked out nicely. Adding a little bollard here as well. Not cutting in too much. Gosh, I can't see a darn thing. Just move out of the way. If I add... Where are you? Where's the matching one? I feel like a crazy person sometimes when I'm recording and I'm just randomly speaking out loud, so you'll have to live with the crazy. Oh, I don't really want to take this one off the grid, so I'm just going to pretend that it's all lining up. I've also just spotted as well that we've not added a railing to the staircase, so must remember to do that before I wrap up this part. You can already see this is out of line. I will fix that, don't worry. Oh yes, final thing to do is add a railing. I think rather than matching one, maybe let's go for the werewolves, because I think this comes in a matching brown swatch, which is quite nice. Let's add some ceiling. How could you? Let me do it. Thank you. And last but not least, I'm going to add a chimney because I'd quite like to add a little fireplace in this area. Maybe go for one that fits in with the vibe. Do I need to size you down? That is a question. I think I do. I don't know whether it looked a little bit too big or not, so let me know if you think otherwise. But I think we've got as far as we can now, friends. I'm really chuffed with how it came out. It's a nice blend of the reference image we were working from, and I've just put my own little spin on it as well. Really enjoying the use of pastel shades in this build, something I don't regularly do, so in the next part, we'll move into the interiors and make sense of the Chippy and the downstairs loo for the patrons. And then following that, we'll move to the first floor flat. I'll introduce you to the sim who runs the Whitstable Chippy, and we can make sense of their living quarters. There may be a pet involved, but I've not decided just yet. I will leave all the CC I've used in the link in my description box below. If you do like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. And following this, we'll continue on with our world renovation series. Thank you so much for voting on the community tab. I think the clear winner was the village residential cottages made from stone. So I'm very excited to start that project. I think it'll be a big one. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.